You look at your life and think you haven't won yet, that you're somewhere behind, that others are already ahead, that you still have a long way to go. And because of that, you don't allow yourself to feel at peace. But there's a truth almost no one notices. Victory doesn't look the way you think. It doesn't shout. It doesn't draw attention. It doesn't collect applause. It's quiet. And because of that, you don't see it, even though it's already near. The problem: you measure yourself through external things, through money, through status, through how others react to you. And if it's not enough, you give yourself a verdict. I'm not there yet. But the problem isn't that you're not there. The problem is you don't understand where there even is. You look at other people's results and ignore your own transformation. You don't notice how your behavior has changed, how your reactions have changed, your decisions, your thinking. And because of that, you keep feeling a lack, even when you've already moved to another level. Victory is not an event. It's a state, and it doesn't come suddenly. It accumulates, slowly, unnoticed, without signals, and one day you're already different. But if you don't know how to see it, you keep living as if nothing has changed. Strong people aren't different because they've won. They're different because they recognized it and started acting from that position. 1. You stopped reacting to everything before. Almost everything got to you. Other people's words, tone, looks, comments. Someone says something wrong, and you're already tense inside. You replay it in your head, build responses, imagine conversations that will never happen. You spend energy on things that change nothing. And now, most of these things just don't get inside. They reach you and stop at the surface. Example: someone sends you something sharp, a provocation, disrespect. Before, you respond immediately. You prove, you explain, you defend. Now, you read it then and do nothing. You're not running from it. You just don't engage. And that's the key. Because control isn't when you respond correctly. Control is when you decide whether to respond at all. And if you can already do that, you've moved beyond the level of reaction. And that's the level where most people stay stuck forever. 2. You no longer need to be liked. Before you were seeking acceptance, you adapted, adjusted your behavior, filtered your words, to avoid tension, to not seem different, to stay comfortable for others. And you didn't even notice how often you betrayed yourself. Now, that has changed. You can say no calmly, without justification, without internal discomfort. Example: you're invited somewhere you don't want to go. Before, you go. Because you should. Because what will they think? Now, you simply decline. And you don't return to it in your thoughts. This isn't harshness, it's clarity. You understand that you're not obligated to be convenient. And in that moment, you stop depending. And independence is the foundation of strength. 3. You started seeing people more deeply. Before, you took everything literally. Words equals truth. A smile equals kindness. Confidence equals strength. Now you see differently. You notice inconsistencies. A person says one thing, but behaves differently. And you catch it, quickly, effortlessly. Example: someone speaks confidently, says the right words, logical phrases, but you feel tension, like something doesn't add up. Before, you ignored it. Now, you trust that signal, and you keep your distance. This means you've stopped being naive. You've started seeing not just the surface, but the structure. And once you see the structure, you stop being a pawn in the game. You become the one who understands it. 4. Silence no longer scares you. Most people are afraid of silence because in silence there are no distractions, no noise, no people, no constant stimulation. And then only one thing remains: you. Before this was uncomfortable. You looked for something to fill the space. your phone, videos, people. Now you can stay in silence and not feel the need to escape. Example, evening, no plans. Before, you immediately look for something to do. Now, you simply stay and feel calm. This means you've stopped avoiding yourself. And a person who doesn't avoid themselves doesn't need external noise. And that's already a position of strength. 5. You respect yourself without validation. This is the deepest level. Before, your sense of self depended on others. Someone praised you, you felt confident. Someone ignored you, you doubted yourself. Now, that dependence is weakening. You know who you are, even if it's not acknowledged. Example, someone underestimates you. Before, you try to prove them wrong. You explain, you show, you push yourself. Now, you simply see it, and you don't move, because you don't need to prove anything. You've already defined your value, and it doesn't change based on someone else's opinion. This is internal stability, and once it appears, the game is over. You're waiting for the moment when you can say, "Now I've won." But that moment will never come, because victory doesn't arrive, it accumulates. And if you're attentive, you start to see it. Look honestly. You react less, you depend less, you understand more, you are calmer, you are more stable. This is not the beginning. This is the result. And if you accept that, you will stop running and start moving slowly but precisely from a position of strength, without noise, without proof, without need. And that's when you didn't just win, you realized it.